again, more Weta digital props.
Those
standees.
are great.
These have been through the con so many times. I've got multiple pictures from multiple years, but I never get tired of taking pictures of them. I know they've traveled all over the world. Yes, they've been to San Diego Comic-Con. Yes, they've been to Anaheim WonderCon. Yes, they've been to New York Comic-Con. They've probably been to London.
Do you know what they're made out of? What they're actually these are made out of?
I could speculate. I bet you it's a combination of
Clay?
rubber and foam and just look at the detail. Why are you so sad, buddy? It's cool. 'Cause he hates us. He had something in his nose. You know, there's an old saying, you can pick your friends, and you can pick your nose, but you can't pick your friend's nose, but you can pick Gollum's nose. And nobody's going to complain.
Gandalf the Grey.
It's the closest I've ever been to Sir Patrick. There was this new thing there this year for Evermore, which is apparently like an interactive, like kind of fantasy horror experience. You pay a large sum of money and you go and they provide you with dinner and drinks and they take you through this whole excursion.
And then they tell you that the dinner you just ate is a human.
Yeah, basically they're like Soylent Green is people and you just ate it. And then you probably get murdered. It seemed interesting because they were part of the promotion for this year's Fanx. And the last night, the third night of the con, was the actual premiere of this event. So they were doing heavy promotion, and you could walk through this building and kind of see some of their props. And I had to give them props for their props because I thought some of this stuff was pretty cool. But I thought these statues were really, really cool and nicely detailed. And it was really cool to see stuff like this. There were actually more haunted houses here doing promotions than I think we've ever seen. And I've got some footage of that. We had Nightmare on 13th and Dead Cities, things like that. That was from the Dead Cities. That is Pumpkinhead, and you horror fanatics will know Pumpkinhead, created by Stan Winston, the late great Stan Winston. The movie starring Lance Henriksen. You know him from the X-Files sister series Millennium. You know him as Bishop from Alien, or Aliens and Alien 3. He's in Alien vs. Predator, Scream 3. He's a fantastic actor. Near Dark, Damien the Omen 2. Pumpkinhead is great. It's got a Shout Factory release on Blu-ray. This was more Nightmare on 13th. They're about ready to open up their haunted house here as we're getting closer to October. They had a lot of really cool animatronics going on. As you can see, some smoke going on there. I think really what it was is just the employees were in the back getting high, but I could be wrong about that. I don't know. It had a skunky.
That's all of them just exhaling.
They know what it's like to be inside a giant bong.
Slip quietly past, and you may yet escape the cruel demise.
The nightmare has grown so big that it has spilled beyond the castle walls. Experience the all-new nightmare.
It was a lot of fun. This giant, I don't even know what they were promoting. I was just so taken with this giant pumpkin that the mouth, the colors kept changing. And if you hit the next picture, you will see, boom. There's me next to this guy frozen in the carbonite, and I'm so sad over it. It's so sad. That's my sad face, which it elicits and for some reason I'm doing weird strong arms, but the sad face elicits more laughter, so it's really kind of a bummer when I get sad because people tend to laugh. It's inappropriate. So that was kind of fun. Nice Jabba blow up there. Kind of wanted to take that home with me. What do you think of that?
That's kind of cool.
It's cool, right?
This is the thing that was in the movie, right? This is the real actual Jabba.
Yeah. Actually, at one of the older cons, we've actually had the Jabba prop. That looks like something you just want to put in your living room and just like watch a movie sitting on that, right? Just kind of kicking back. This artist right here, that is Mike Walton, also known as False Positive from falsepositive.com webcomics. That's the artist who did the Wonder Woman print in the day one episode. Got some droids. They were nice droids. And on top of that, we got a little Jawa, too. A little Jawa action. Woo titty! This is my favorite. When these guys come, and they come almost every year, but not quite every year. In fact, it's always the same guy. He's from New York. He's got this thick New York accent. I actually didn't talk to him this time, but this is where I usually get my t-shirts. I picked up like this Monster Squad t-shirt, Blade Runner, Green Hornet. The first year he was there, he had this Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea t-shirt from Irwin Allen's famous TV show from the early 60s. And it was such a cool retro-looking shirt that every time I run into him, I'm like, he sold out of them and he never got them reprinted. And he ended up getting another Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea t-shirt, which is cool, but it's not the one I wanted. So every time I see him, Ben, I'm always like, hey, did you get that Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea t-shirt in there? And he's always like, it's you! No, I still haven't. But that's where I got my Red Dwarf shirt from.
Cool.
It's a cool place. And then next up, we've got the Batmobile. Technically, I'm not supposed to take pictures. You have to pay to take pictures of this thing and to sit in it and even get close. I just waited till the guys were looking the other way and took a couple of pictures. That's the best one that turned out. And it's not that great, but still, I love that thing. I love the 66 Batmobile. I still think it's one of the coolest Batmobiles. I'm sorry, it's much cooler looking than the Bat Tumbler. I'm just going to say it. I don't care. And this Silver Surfer prop, they actually had to put a sign on there not to touch it because about an hour before I took this picture, some kids were messing with it, and they actually broke Norrin Rad. They broke him. They broke him off his board and split his arm. And I was amazed at how quickly they were able to put him back together. To me, my board. This prop, he comes quite a bit, but, I mean, just look at how cool. Silver Surfer.
Yeah, it's pretty badass.
It's really cool. And it's right next to this, it's almost like a speeder bike, but it's not. I don't know. I don't think it's from, I don't know what that's from, but I just like it.
It's cool. It's really good design. Really cool.
It is a very cool design. I like that. Of course, my favorite, the TARDIS console, and that is that's the Tom Baker era TARDIS console. And these guys, they're from Arizona, I believe, and they travel all over cons with various different consoles that they've made. I talked to this guy while they were trying to put away their stuff. I couldn't find them. For 3 days, I couldn't find it. It was tucked away somewhere. And all the lights on here move. The panel raises. I just gushed over this. We exchanged stories about meeting different doctors at different conventions. And he's got replicas for the second Doctor, which we're both fans of, as I've got Patrick Troughton right here. So he was kind enough to let me take some pictures of it while they were still trying to get out of there. And I'm just so envious of this thing. I want this in my living room. I don't care if nobody can move around it. Tough luck.
And then you could, have it do like regular functions, like you could make breakfast with it, and you could help it. You could use it to turn on your appliances.
Oh, my Wi-Fi would be built into that thing. There'd be Bluetooth speakers, and I would be watching television on the monitors on the other side.
And then it could actually do the thing that it's supposed to, which is to take you through space and time all over the universe.
Or at least get me a beer. Right.
Okay, we'll accept that.
I'd build a fridge right in there. That's what I do. I'd build a mini fridge. And then this was from Dead City's Haunted House as well.
Oh, and that's you. That's you sitting on the
the old crapper, the old hopper. It's that's what happens when you have the shrimp taco. No, the shrimp taco there was actually amazing. But no, that's
really cool.
That's really cool.
That's really cool.
He does vibrate on occasion, which is a little jarring. But yeah, when I first saw it, I thought it was somebody sitting on the crapper because you don't see that very often. But
well, the electric chair, the crapper, same diff.
Thing. You'd kind of think they probably would kind of combine the two just because of the things that probably get released.
Did that happen? Yeah.
That's just really morbid. And why would you bring that up, folks? This Iron Giant was so impressive to me. Look at little Hogarth there. Hogarth? What kind of a name is Hogarth? If you've never seen Brad Bird's The Iron Giant, you should really do yourself a favor and see this movie. It's so underrated. It underperformed. It was just, but the
What
critics
year did it
loved
come out?
1999.
Okay.
It was just, it's a film that it opened the same weekend as Mystery Men, which was just a month after Phantom
It's hard to
Menace. There were
compete with
so
that.
many movies going on in the summer of 1999 that unfortunately this gem of a film got buried, but it did get a limited re-release.
It is still really popular. Like there's a lot of people who really dig it. But yeah, it does.
But it's taken its time to build up that audience because that audience wasn't there when the movie came out. It took a while, and it was popular enough that back in 2016 it actually got a limited theatrical re-release to coincide with the first time Blu-ray release. And I just absolutely adore the Iron Giant. Probably Vin Diesel's best role, in my opinion, outside of Groot. If you just have him like doing voice work where he only says a couple of things like "rock" or "I am Groot," I tend to like him more. Even though I do like the Chronicles of the whole Riddick trilogy is really fun, but I'm gonna have to go with this. Or maybe when he got killed in Saving Private Ryan. I don't know.